Good morning, everyone. It's early morning, 5:56 to be exact, on Friday, just before the Memorial Day weekend, and I am headed out to Idaho. I'm headed east all the way to Maine, but I'm going to through Idaho and have to go back down that big hill. I shouldn't say hill, mountain. That big mountain that I went up from Carson City. So I came up it on the way here, and I was pretty nervous because I just know I have to come down. So I have to go down now. Anyways, I'll see you at the bottom. Bye. Okay, everyone, I'm down the hill. Whew. Liz held her engine braking perfectly, so thank you, Liz. I feel so much better. I was shaking a little bit, but I told myself I was going to be calm. I just wanted to show you guys that I stopped over here at Flying J's. I had called ahead and asked them if they had potable water. They do have the city water. And here's the spout. And just hooked everything up to the RV. The only thing you have to pay for is the RV dock.
After leaving South Lake Tahoe, I traveled across northern Nevada through some incredibly high winds through most of the trip east. Consequently, I ran into some tire pressure issues along the way, and I had to deal with that before heading into Idaho.
So we are here in Inlay, Nevada. We're at a rest area. I stopped here for the night. We've gone quite a few miles. I've been driving since 6 o'clock, and it's 2:30ish, I think. And I had to pull over at one point. My tire pressure monitoring system alarm went off, and my dually tire, this one here on the right, well, it's the inner tire, but I had to take off, but this one right here, that little cap is the tire pressure monitor sensor. And I've been driving for quite a few miles. I don't know how many miles, but since 6 o'clock, so I think at the time it was about 6.5 hours, which is way more than I ever actually will drive. Specifically for this reason. Tires are heating up, and the inside dually on that right side is the one that tends to heat up the most and expand the most, because it takes most of the brunt of the road conditions where they're slanted just a little bit. So if you're on the right lane, which I typically am because I'm on RV, so it slants in or out just a little bit from the center of the highway in order to drain off rain. It's very windy out here. This is the tire pressure monitor system, and where it's blinking, that's the tire. So if you think of it this way, my RV is facing this direction. Right now it's flashing inner dually on the right side. Now it's left dually inside, and then left dually outside. So that one on the right was heating up quite a bit. The high pressure tires alarm went off, and it was at 96 psi, and so it's going off. So that tire actually is set to be at 80 degrees cold. That's how much air you're supposed to have in the tire. So I pulled off on the side of the road, and there's long haul truckers and semis and everything out throughout there, so it was a little frightening because there was not a very safe place to pull off. Like, I wanted to show you guys what was happening, but I really couldn't because it wasn't safe to break out the camera and figure all that out. You know, this is 80-mile-per-hour highway. The tire looked fine. I decided I'll just take some pressure out of it, or some air out of it to release the pressure. And I went to take the sensor off, and I dropped the sensor inside. I was like, crap. So I had to get out my, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a crowbar to take off the hubcap. So I took this hubcap off right here. I took this off, and I couldn't find on the inside here, which I know you can't really see very well, but I couldn't find the tire sensor. It fell in between the tires, and I couldn't reach it. I decided, well, it couldn't have fallen under the tire because there's just no way it could have fallen under the tire. So if I move forward just a little bit, pray to God it doesn't move while I'm moving forward and I run over it. So I did that, and I found it, and it was fine, and I put it back on. And I did release the pressure, but the tire kept heating up quite a bit. Even though I moved on, it still kept increasing in pressure. I just decided to pull off at this rest area. I'll stay here tonight. Anyways, that's it for today. But this is where I'm staying. A beautiful view.
Since I'm completely moved into the RV and all tanks are loaded, I decided it's time to get an official weigh-in for each axle to determine the best tire pressure.
Okay guys, so yesterday after the whole tire fiasco, I decided I'd pull into Pilots and get my vehicle weighed. It's a certified weight. So I did the math real quick, and with my fuel tank 3/4 of the way full, my freshwater tank is completely full in minimum gray and black, but if you think about it, the gray water is going to come from the water you use from your fresh water, and then of course the black tank is whatever's coming out of you. And then of course it has my weight in here and then Lily's weight. So total for the front axle was 4,160. My vehicle is rated so that the front axle can only be a max of 5,000, so I'm 840 pounds underweight. Back axle, I'm 7,989, and my vehicle can only be 9,600 pounds gross, so I'm 1,620 roughly pounds underweight. So I'm total 2,360 pounds underweight, which is really good. So that means that I can actually bring down my tire pressure. You saw that I got my certification earlier for my weight of my vehicle, and I took that and figured out what does the Michelin tire company show on their charts, and then I went to Les Schwab Tire Center, which I think may just be a West Coast shop, I think, but it's like a discount tire or a place where they just specialize in tires. And so I went to Les Schwab. They check your tires for free, your pressure and everything, and I talked with their manager, and they have this calculation that they do for big rigs, and we figured out what the calculation is supposed to tell you based on your weight of your vehicle on each axle, what your PSI should be in your tires. So we checked that against the Michelin table, and it was dead on, exactly the same. So that was good. So I ended up having to drop the tire weight by 15 PSI, almost for each tire. So significant difference. He said your RV will probably drive a lot better now, or feel more comfortable, and I did drive it about another 55 miles, and it seemed to be just fine. They did look at the tires, and tires seemed perfectly fine, so no issues there. I'm in Wells, Nevada, and I'm almost into Idaho. I'm heading up north now onto 93. We ended up getting Lily a new harness. Lily, do you want to show your harness? See? It's so pretty. We got this one because the other one that we had on, I had on her, seemed to hit her up in her neck a lot right here when she's in the front seat, and it just seemed like it was hurting her. So this is really soft, and it has this buckle here, or not buckle, but this little ring, and that actually clips into, I show you her bed. So this is her little bed up here, and it hooks into this, or this hooks into it, and then this whole seat is harnessed in with the, you can see, with the belt, the seat belt. I'm still headed east on this long trek across northern Nevada for one more overnight stay before I turn north onto 93 to Idaho. But first, I need to clean all of these nasties off of the window and then settle in at one of the truck stops, which is my only option for the night. We are just about to head out to Idaho. You can see this nice backdrop over here. That is Ruby Mountains. So I stayed here at this fine day. Actually needed to add some oil. I checked all my fluids and got all of that taken care of. My car needed about an entire gallon of windshield wiper fluid from all the protein on the car. There's so much protein that the bugs and the bees are all over it trying to eat up the nasties, which is pretty nasty. Anyway, so this nice gentleman over here, he's a retired firefighter in Maine, and he helped me put oil in some of my car and check everything out, so I really appreciate his help with all of this. Alright, we're headed out.
While there was quite a bit of traffic on US 93 North, it was interesting at only 2 lanes and hardly anything between Jackpot, Nevada and Twin Falls, Idaho for 48 miles.
'cause they've always been good to me.
Just decided to stop over here by this rest area, or in a rest area. It's called Salmon Ball Creek Rest Area. Beautiful surroundings. And look at this cliff of rocks. I'm gonna span up a little bit so you can just see the magnitude. I'm looking straight up. There's Liz. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so we're headed out some more. Just wanted to stop real quick. I needed to transfer over some files on the Sony Action Cam. It's running out of memory, so I think we're about 50 miles outside of Twin Falls right now. But anyways, we should be there within an hour. Okay, see you soon.
Join me in the next video as I start the Mesa Falls Scenic Byway in Idaho and then seek out a place to stay on National Forest land. I end up on Snake River in a prime location with beautiful views.